Morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Sports, the morning show, man. We're coming off a bizarre week 14 in the NFL and other sports. Mo, how was your weekend, big dog?
It was an entertaining sports weekend, so I can't say that I was bored. I had lots of sports to watch between college football, pro football, and the NBA. I was good.
Speaking of college football, man, how you feel about Bama getting into the college football playoffs?
Um, I, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have selected them. But it's Bama, and maybe it's as easy as this that I guess less people hate Bama than they do Notre Dame. That's what it comes, that's what it comes down to.
Is it
But
that, or is it that Notre Dame is not in a conference pretty much at all, and they can pretty much run what schedule they want to?
I guess, but they've always been that way, and they've made it into the national championship picture, into the playoffs. So why should this season be any different from the other season?
Because people want to see the tide roll, man.
The tide are going to get rolled. We can agree on that. They're going to get rolled.
Oh man, but it was a good game, man. How did you feel about that Georgia Bama game, man?
And they beat the brakes off them. I mean, I don't think it was that good a game. I thought it could have been a worse blowout. They just completely dominated the line of scrimmage. Georgia just looked more physical, faster, just a better football team. Uh, Alabama, the way they play football, especially offensively, they have a small margin for error against a team like Georgia. If you get behind the way that Bama's offense is, it's over. They don't have an explosive offense. And look, for that reason alone, to me, they shouldn't have gotten a national championship game. They really hadn't played that well. They really hadn't played that well. Look, you'll see it. Because now they're in the playoffs. You'll see it. They're gonna get rolled in the playoffs. You'll see it. The committee can't undo it, but they'll see it live when they get bounced.
Who knows, man? You never know, man. On any given Sunday, man. You know what I mean? Anything can happen.
I mean,
But
that's what prayers are for. So I get you. I get you.
Indiana took down Ohio State, man. 13-10, man. Low scoring game, but Indiana pulled it out, man. Talk to me about this game, Mo.
Man, that Indiana defense is real. There've been a lot of hype about it, but the way they shut down Ohio State, completely dominated them, dominated both sides of the line of scrimmage. Like, I was impressed. I thought the Indiana defense was really, really good. I didn't believe that they'd be able to shut down Ohio State the way they did. I'm just blown away at how dominant that Indiana defense is.
Is this a concern for Ohio State going into the playoffs?
Um, it should be. It should be the ultimate wake up call. Uh, to get dominated that thoroughly. Now, look, now if they played again because the game was so close, it could go either way. But the fact that Indiana's defense is able to literally dominate the line of scrimmage the way it does, like they were playing downhill that defense the entire game, and that was amazing to me.
Maybe Ohio State just had a bad night, man. You know how it goes.
They did. They played Indiana. They had a real bad night.
Anyway, hey, we got one of our guys, man, who popped in, man. He's going to join us this morning, man. It's a great guy, man. You know, he does the Meaty Boys podcast, man. He does the N1 podcast with Mo every Thursday. Let's welcome in Gardy, man. Gardy, good morning, good brother. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys today?
Pretty
Hey,
good,
man,
Brett.
we here, man. How was your sports weekend, man?
I couldn't ask for a better one. I watched the Packers beat the Bears yesterday. What more can I really ask for?
Speaking of, since we are here with the Packers and Bears, man, it was a close one, but the transcendent Caleb Williams cost them the game when they was in scoring range, man. Talk to me about this game, Brett.
Terrific back and forth game. Um, Actually, for the most part, I thought Caleb Williams had a great game. He was making a lot of guys miss. He was navigating the pocket very well, and the Packers really couldn't bring him down. He was tough. the Bears are tough. So I give him all the credit in the world for that. Jordan Love, it worked out perfectly. Jordan Love got his mistake out of the way early with a really bad pick. Caleb Williams got his, unfortunately for him, at the worst time possible. I see a lot of people criticizing like the play design, saying, "Oh, he should have thrown to DJ Moore on that last play." I disagree. You're at one, you'd be asking Caleb's to throw across his body on the run with momentum going that way, and you're trying to thread the needle through four defenders that are chasing him. And I think that last play, it was a play where Caleb Williams, it was a throw he wanted to have back because Cole Kmet was open if he puts that into the back corner of the end zone. Problem is, he tried to put it right on him and he threw it a little too late, so it gave Nixon time to recover. So overall, just a great back and forth game, and I'm definitely looking forward to the rematch in 2 weeks.
Mo, Packers, Bears.
Look, a really good football game. I thought Chicago really impressed me with the way they answered and responded in the second half. It wasn't really Caleb. Caleb was impressive because of his ability to extend plays and use his legs. He's much better on the move than he is in the pocket. But the strength of the Bears is still their run game. They ran the football well. It isn't the run game playing off of Caleb, it's Caleb playing off the run game. Their run game came alive in the second half and it put them back in the game. I thought Caleb Williams played really well and played a clean football game, obviously, until the very end, but that was a no-win situation for him. That was going to be a touchdown or that was going to be an interception. There wasn't going to be an in-between. And I don't have a problem with the play call. Brett's right. If he throws that to the corner of the end zone, that's probably a touchdown. He just chose to try to put it on the money, and that was a mistake, and he'll learn from that. But it's the kind of game that would I watch it again? Absolutely. I want to see these two teams get after it again. There's a chance these two teams end up playing each other 3 times this season, and I'll sign up for that too.
Brett, you want the Bears 3 times this season, man?
Hey, if we have to beat the Bears 3 times this season, so be it. I'll take it.
But Mo, Kansas City streak of 9 straight AFC West titles is now over. The AFC West will have a new division leader for the first time since 2015, man. Texans defense shut down the Chiefs, man, getting 3 picks off Mahomes as they win 20-10, man. Talk to me about this game, man, and the Chiefs for the remainder of the season.
What you had was a great defensive battle, best defense in football. The Texans, that it's real simple for the Texans. Even if the offense doesn't move the football consistently, CJ Stroud has one job: do not turn the football over. His defense is good enough that if they go 3 and out, they're going to be fine. I thought the Texans defense dominated this game, and I think the Chiefs defense played well too. It's just that their offense gave them nothing. Like I felt like the Chiefs defense was battling the Texas offense and their own offense because of the turnovers and the inability to move the football. You watch this Chiefs offense, and let's be honest, they haven't been one of the better offenses in the NFL the last 3 years. So when people go, I don't understand how the offense is so bad, they've been bad. They've been bad. They actually won a Super Bowl with a poor offense and a great defense. So they've been bad for a while. The end of a dynasty, let's say the end of this version of the Chiefs, if you've got your franchise quarterback in place, you can make some moves, tweak it, turn around, and make another run. The only question is going forward, because there are some young up-and-coming quarterbacks in the AFC, will there be another run? I don't know. Patrick Mahomes is a terrific football player, but I look at the AFC and I think there's a lot of up-and-coming talent, especially at the quarterback position. He might not see the Super Bowl again for a while unless he buy a ticket.
Sheesh. Brett, Texans Chiefs.
There's obviously they were missing offensive linemen, which doesn't help against the Texans. That being said, on top of the drops, I don't think coaching helped them either. And the play I'm referring to is going for it on 4th and 1 from your own 31-yard line. Not only that, you line up in shotgun. And of course, it's incomplete. This is a Texans offense that had been struggling to score all game. So I'm just confused as to why you'd go for it. Where, guess what? If you fail to convert there, you're handing them points. They can just literally kick a field goal on 1st down and be fine. And guess what? Failed to score, and that decision kind of cost them the game in the end. So there's a lot of things that went horribly wrong for the Chiefs: drops, turnovers. But the nail in the coffin is you can't really be going for it when your defense is playing so well on the 31-yard line and put the other team right in field goal range. And if you do go for it, don't line up in shotgun. Go get under center. Maybe you run a QB sneak. At least if you're in under center, then you can get the play action game to be a lot more effective if you want it. It was bad execution and bad play calling all around by Kansas City.
I mean that's a fair criticism, but let's just remember, you can say Andy Reid didn't call his best game. Patrick Mahomes didn't play well either. I mean, it wasn't just drops.
Was it Mahomes or was it drops?
No, it wasn't just drops. He had 3 picks. He didn't, and those balls, by the way, were caught. They weren't drops. Those are 3 picks. So he didn't play great. Let's not act like he played great and the receivers failed him. It was a total team collapse. Yes, there were some drops, but Patrick Mahomes, he could have arguably had 4 picks. He got lucky. He only had 3. He could have 4. He didn't play well. I think Andy Reid gambled because he realized they had no momentum. If this was going to be a game that was going to go back and forth and it was just going to be about the defenses, Kansas City's losing that football game too. So I think Andy Reid made a calculation. Our defense is good, but their defense is even better.
So let me ask y'all this, man. I'm going to start with you, Brad. Do you see the Chiefs still making the playoffs this year?
No. Normally you give the team like the Chiefs the benefit of the doubt, but the way the season's going and in all reality, the way they're playing, well, with the way like Kelsey looks, with the way that Patrick Mahomes, has been struggling, like I just don't think you really can give him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Normally you do because they made the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 3 years, but with the way they've looked this year, I don't think I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here. I don't think they make the playoffs.
Brett is counting them out.
That's right.
Mo, are you counting out the Chiefs making the playoffs?
Oh yeah, I'm giving them the doubt, not the benefit. They're getting all doubt. I feel like when people were talking about when we get Rashee Rice healthy with Worthy and Hollywood Brown, remember that talk? Like when you get the 3 of them together, it's over. It's over, all right. It's over. I don't think that their receiving core is that good. I think it's overrated. I think Rashee Rice is a good football player. I don't know if he's a number 1 receiver. He's the best receiver on that team, but I don't know if he's an out and out number 1. I know I know enough about Worthy to tell you this. What a wasted draft pick. What a wasted draft pick.
He's not that bad, man.
Dude, he can do one thing good. He can run really, really fast, but he has no route tree. And if you put a hand on him, you completely disrupt him. Like Worthy is just a dude. And then their offensive line woes, which by the way, they've had them for the last couple of years. It's what happens is with a team like the Chiefs, when you've won as much, Father Time does catch up. Mahomes is a little bit older. Kelsey's at the end of his career. They're gonna have to make some tough decisions to flip things around and rebuild around Patrick Mahomes. I just don't know how easy that's going to be in the AFC.
It takes me back to that video, man, when we talked about the beginning of the season, man, with I think it was the top 10 offenses heading in, and the Chiefs was at 10.
And remember what I said then? Remember what I said then? How in the hell are they number 10?
No, you and Will was like, oh man, if they had all their pieces, I mean, and wide receivers, they'd be higher than 10. And he was like,
Right.
Will, what, 9? That's what they had.
Right. I remember somebody said, like, well, when they get Pacheco healthy, I was like, what's that going to take them up to? 9, 8? Like, come on, man. Come on.
So we are counting the Chiefs out. Now, Mo, we have a key injury in the AFC that's going to cost the team. And you still don't see the Chiefs coming out of making the playoffs league. But let's talk about Danny Dimes, aka Indiana Jones, whatever y'all want to call him. He's out for the season with a torn Achilles, man. The Colts was rolling this year. They could have possibly made a run the way the AFC's turning out. But they just took an L to the Jaguars and they lost Danny Dimes 36-19. After this injury, Mo, is the Colts' magical season gone?
Oh yeah, it's gone. And to be honest, they had lost 4 out of their last 5, so they'd been in a spiral. Like they weren't getting killed, but they had lost some close games to some good football teams, and they were struggling. But when you lose your quarterback, that so much of your offense is built around his legs, his ability to move, I think their season's over. I don't know if the Colts win another football game, and which is a bad sign for their GM and their head coach Steichen, because they were kind of on the hot seat anyway. I think to save their jobs, they have to finish the season with a winning record to save their jobs. They're gonna have to find a way to manage to have a winning record, at least have 9 wins. And without an actual quarterback and everything on Jonathan Taylor's shoulders, every team that plays them the rest of the season, there's gonna be 9 and 10 men in the box because nobody's gonna fear the pass.
Gardy, what you think about the Colts' magical season being over, man? You don't think the Chiefs can sneak in with the Colts being down?
Not really. It feels like all the Colts have to do is like accidentally win one of these games, and that's pretty much it for the Chiefs. And Jonathan Taylor could probably carry him to do that by himself. No, it's one of those things where Daniel Jones, you got to give him credit for being tough, but I think this was a situation where the team had to protect the player from himself. He has a fractured leg. You can't let him go out there and play with a fractured leg.
Agreed.
Because what happens? Okay, now you have to overcompensate with the other leg. And no, now we have a fractured leg and the Achilles pop because now you're overcompensating for the fracture. It's one of those things where the magic is obviously gone at this point, and it's unfortunate because now Daniel Jones has a long recovery ahead of him.
Oh, by the way, to what Cottrell put out there, here's the problem with the discount. We all know a big part of what makes Daniel Jones are his legs or his wheels. He had a significant injury a year or so ago. Now he's coming off another one. He's getting ready to come off a long recovery. I don't know if you offer Daniel Jones a multi-year contract coming off of the injury he's going to come off of, because you see what week we're in. Daniel Jones isn't going to be healthy enough to start next season. And even if he is he going to be the same Daniel Jones? I think the Colts are in flux suddenly. Like, one minute you're like, Daniel Jones could be our long-term guy, but now there's more questions than answers. I don't think it's a lock that Daniel Jones is their quarterback next year.
So if you the Colts, are you re-signing Danny Dimes or are you letting him go, Mo?
So I think you re-sign him, but I don't think I'm not trying to give him like a monster deal. And people can call it lowballing or whatever, but I'm gonna try to re-sign him, but I'm also going to try to explore other options.
I mean, as of next year, you got to explore another option.
I'm just saying, right?
Anthony Richardson, he coming back?
No, you need to explore another option.
So you would re-sign Danny Dimes just for a low, what, 20 million, 25?
I think so because he could get healthy and maybe what if things aren't going so well that he can get back in the game, get back in the rhythm. But you do have to already start thinking about next season. Daniel Jones won't be starting the season out. So who is going to be your quarterback going forward?
Anthony Richardson, man.
No, he's going to play tight end.
AKA low budget Cam Newton.
He is low budget Cam Newton. We agree on that.
Say Anthony Richardson isn't even like Tuesday $5 movie night Cam Newton. He's like Tubi Cam Newton.
Guardy, you're the Colts GM. You re-signed Danny Dimes, even though you know he's not playing next season.
I think he did enough for the franchise to earn a second contract, even if he takes next year to recover. I think you're running into a situation where you can get him for cheap, and the recovery will probably allow him. It depends. I've seen things where it says that the timeline takes him right up to pretty much week 1 of next year. So you might be able to get him to be playing by week 1 of next year, or maybe like week 5 or 6. It's one of those things.
On a torn Achilles, you think he will come back that soon?
Maybe. I'm not confident in it, but maybe. At the same time, I would sign him, and I would sign another veteran, so you don't have to try to rush him back or anything. So this team has shown that if you get competent quarterback play, you can go far. They have a strong run game, so I would sign him, and then I would also sign another vet.
Or what about this? What about we go ahead and get Archie out the draft?
You might as well stick with Richard. You might as well stick with Richardson.
You don't think Archie would be better than Richardson? At least he'd be available to play. Richardson is not ever.
This is true. I mean, I guess you can take Archie in like the 4th or 5th round. He'll be available. He'll be available.
Guardy, since we got Cottrell and Jory in here, man. Browns versus Titans. Browns lost to the Titans 31-29. Man, Shador though threw for 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, and also had a rushing touchdown. But it wasn't enough to hold off Cam Ward and Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard was running the muck up on him.
Yeah, it was a great game from Shador Sanders. The question is obviously now, can he consistently do this week in and week out? I always want to see a multi-game sample, right? I'm not ready to, stamp him franchise quarterback yet. Because obviously we've seen this from rookies before. I watched Christian Ponder go for 3 touchdowns and 381.
Right.
In his rookie year. Now, I think Shador is much better than Christian Ponder. I think Shador is going to be a great quarterback. That being said, he had a fantastic game, but I'm not ready to stamp him franchise QB yet because, okay, you did it this week. You didn't do it last week. I need to see you do it again next week. And I need to see you do it the game before that. Or game after that, I mean. It's one of those things where I believe in Shador Sanders, but show me some consistency. Finish out the year strong. And then we can have a conversation next year about possible franchise quarterback.
I kind of love what Cottrell said out there. He said, looked better than the number 1 pick, which as I watched the game, I found it interesting because I've seen Shador not too long ago have a game like Cam Ward had yesterday. I've watched a lot of Tennessee Titan games. I think Cam Ward pretty much has that same game every week. I guess the question I'm asking is Cam Ward better than Shador Sanders? Because I don't know that. I don't know that he's better than him. I don't know that. No, I'm not. I'm being real. I'm being real. I don't know that he's better than that. Like the advantage that he had was he had a 1,000-yard back. He had Tony Pollard to hand the ball off to, and Shador Sanders had some dude named Judkins who he outrushed. So if Tony Pollard doesn't rush for 160 yards, I'm just saying, it's funny how they go, Cam Ward and Tony Pollard led the way. Like, no, Tony Pollard led the way. The most important thing Cam Ward did was turn around and hand the football off. I don't know how good Cam Ward is. I don't. And I'm not joking. I honestly don't know. The same way I don't know how good Shador is when Brett says you look sloppy a couple of games ago and then you look great yesterday. That's fair. It's also fair to say just because Cam Ward was drafted number 1, you can't say by default he's better than Shador. If you really look at both of them, even their physical attributes, it's not like Cam Ward's a better athlete than Shador because he's not. And Shador's not even a great athlete, but Cam Ward is less of an athlete. I think that the one thing Cam Ward has is a stronger arm, but I don't know which one is the better quarterback. I really don't. But Cleveland's fairly stupid as a franchise, so my guess is they'll get rid of Shador and bring back Watson. Why not? That seems like something Cleveland would do.
There's no way. There is no way in hell they bringing Watson back. That dude has not played maybe 4 games out of the 4 years he been there.
Never say never with Cleveland. I'm just saying.
It's one of those things with Cam Ward. The first thing you got to do in the offseason is you got to get that man some real weapons, man. You got like Shamir at Dyke, we had Van Jefferson playing real minutes. It's just so weird. Like, I don't think Jerry Jeudy is really anything mind-blowingly special. But if you put him on the Titans, he'd be the equivalent of Jerry Rice. Like, that's how bad those Titans receivers are. So I think your first thing you got to do is let's get Cam Ward some real weapons next year because it is brutal.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Cam Ward, Shador and Cam Ward was they respected each other, and they also had videos of them talking trash to each other during draft combine and all that series. So of course I knew Shador was going to get up for this game because they have a mutual respect for each other, and they both should have been in the first round taken, but Shador got shafted. But I already knew Shador was going to play this game because he wanted to outshine Cam. Cam, I just think he was thrown into a messed up situation, man. He just the team act like they don't want to win. He looks like he want to win every game, and then he just gives up because the Titans ain't showing no effort on offense. They ain't blocking for the kid. They dropping passes. He do have some miscues because he's a rookie, but still. But other than that, hey man, it's a toss up between them two. Who's the best QB in the draft? They came out the draft, but on any given Sunday, Mo. When the Saints go marching in, they pulled off an upset, man, over the Bucks, man, 24-20. Mo, what happened, man? Let's talk about it.
The Bucks offense has been kind of flailing the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's weird because the first 6 or 7 games we were riding high on their offense and what Baker was doing, and we were talking about Baker being an MVP candidate, and it's just been a struggle. It's been a struggle because they've been ravaged by injuries. The offensive line is hurting, and Baker Mayfield hasn't been as consistent as he was the first half of the season. This right here is a bad loss. It's funny because when the season first started, I think most of us thought, all right, so the Buccaneers are going to win the division. The question is by how much. But this is a bad loss. I still think they'll win the division, but it's not a lock anymore. Carolina has come up even with the loss, and they're right on their heels. I think the Buccaneers offensively don't have an identity. It used to be you could go with Bucky Irvin, get the football to him, but he's missed so much time that they just don't have a true offensive identity. And if Baker's not playing with that swagger, with that confidence, it stalls out everything in their offense. Because I really think everybody vibes off of what Baker does. And when he's not playing with that kind of confidence, I think that goes downhill for the rest of the guys as well. So it's a bad loss. And I'm sure Will is somewhere high-fiving, going crazy. Although knowing Will, he's probably mad that they won because he wanted that draft capital.
To do what with it? What would they actually do with it? But that's another conversation. Guardy. Oh, when the Saints go marching in, man.
Baker sucked. Let's start there. Like you're
That's fair.
it was bad. Like you had 10 more passing attempts, you had only one more completion than Tyler Shuck, and you threw for less yards than him. It was a horribly inefficient game from him. The run game, the run game had it going on, but they decided to drop it back with Baker 30 times. It just kind of feels like a little bit of a brutal coaching. You can clearly see Baker doesn't have it going on. So I would rely more on the ground game. Just keep handing that ball off. If you're getting 4 yards a carry, then just you keep running it. It was a really bad loss, especially this deep into the season. It's not like you have the division on lock. You're in a dogfight with Carolina, who obviously have the Saints next week. So this was a game. It feels like you had to win. Like every game at this deep into the season, when you're in this tight of a division race, is a must win. And the Buccaneers almost came out and looked like that. They thought the Saints were just going to roll over for them, and they didn't take them serious. And they messed around. Then they found out the hard way that the Saints have been a competitive football team all year. Not a winning one, but they've been competing like in every single game all year.
Yeah.
So
they have been trying. They have been trying. A little too hard for my liking, man. Like, you have nothing to win, so I don't know what y'all even doing out here. Go get you some draft picks and rebuild the team.
The answer to that though is you want to build a winning culture, and part of that is winning football games. Yeah, you want the draft capital, but you want your guys to play hard. And I think the Saints have almost had like the perfect season this year where they're competing hard. They show they can compete. They're in these games, but they're barely losing. And I think that's perfect because that's exactly what you want out of your team. You don't want your team to roll over and give up midway through the season. Then at that point, that's a losing culture. So I've actually liked the Saints and how competitive they've been in these wins and losses.
That's a good point. Look, if the Ravens played as hard as the Saints played, they'd be leading their division.
I think Baker just having too much fun with his commercials, with was it the Uber Eats with the actor?
Yeah.
But Guardy, the Steelers are leading the division, man, and they just beat the Ravens 27-22 with DK pouring in a big game of 143 receiving yards, man. Steelers about to make the playoffs, man. Another year in the timeline, man. But how did the Ravens lose this game, Guardy?
They treated it like a playoff game. That was the problem. Before they're like, this is a playoff game. We're treating it like a playoff game, and then proceeded to have the most Ravens playoff game possible. Bad Lamar turnover in the first half? Check. Get yourself down 2 scores early? Check. Lock in late, but it's a little too late at that point, and you can't finish the comeback? Check. It was the absolute biggest Ravens like playoff game I have ever seen. And it's at the end of the day, this has been a Steelers offense that has been discombobulated. And you let them come in and drop 27 on you? That can't happen. If you fancy yourself a playoff team, you cannot let Pittsburgh drop 27 on you. They're not that explosive. It was a bad game by the offense. Obviously that interception was brutal, but the defense just keeps getting rolled. So if this team makes the playoffs, they're getting rolled in wild card weekend too.
Mo, Steelers Ravens.
It's funny because it's fire Mike Tomlin, and they go ahead and they get this win. And I'm like, you don't hear nobody say fire John Harbaugh. And I'm like, aren't they in the same boat? don't they basically have the same resume? You could argue that John Harbaugh should be fired more. He's coaching a 2-time MVP and he got no Super Bowl to show for it.
Not even an appearance.
Right. While Mike Tomlin they've never replaced Ben Roethlisberger, and they've been as successful as the Ravens have been with a franchise quarterback. The problem with the Ravens is the Steelers can't stop anybody. They can't score on anybody, and then along come the Ravens, and they can do everything. The Ravens are the ultimate underachieving team. They always talk the game. We're ready. Brett said, treating this like a playoff game. Yeah, about right, because they're not very good in the playoffs, so it made sense. I just look at the Ravens, and you got all these star names on it. They're big names, and nobody showed up. And I think there's more questions about the Ravens than answers going forward. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I really don't. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. And at the same time, you're not going to hear anybody calling for John Harbaugh's name, which is interesting.
I mean, the Ravens still got a chance to take the division, man. It's only them and the Steelers.
I mean, they do have a chance, but if you were a betting man, would you bet on the Ravens to come through? Because I wouldn't. And let's be honest, Lamar has been a monster over the last 4 or 5 years. But this particular season, even though he's been out, when he's been in, he has been an absolute turnover machine. Like, their defense isn't great, but how good can you be if your offense always puts you behind the count when they're constantly turning the football over? That's a problem. So if it's not Derrick Henry fumbling, it's Lamar fumbling or Lamar throwing picks. Like, their offense is killing whatever their defense does.
What you think happened to this offense and why they took a major step back from last year?
It feels like a lot of it has to do with their line is a mess. Like, the interior of the line is just not great. And now all of a sudden you have Lamar dealing with injuries. This is normally a line where you can have Lamar overcome quite a bit, even if it's not great, because he can move, he can run, he can get outside the pocket, make things happen. But it feels like, to an extent now, that he's banged up and hurt and hampered, that a lot of that out of structure just isn't happening. I think he did a little better with that, against the Steelers, and, we'll probably see more of it going forward, but it feels like it's just coming back to injuries to Lamar Jackson. Like I said, this is a guy that no matter who you put at offensive line has always been able to run around and improv and make things work. But when your star franchise quarterback is dealing with a leg injury, well, it's a lot. It becomes a lot harder at that point. And now offense is a lot harder.
I think that's a fair point by Brett, especially about Lamar Jackson's injury, because when you watch Lamar play the last few weeks, you can tell when he's trying to run, he can't cut. Everything's a straight line run because he can't cut because of the injury. He's not really playing like Lamar Jackson, where his ability to make people miss is on display. He can't. He's a straight line runner right now. And honestly, if I were the Ravens, I'd be considering sitting him for the season because I think you're running the risk of him having a major injury, a la Daniel Jones, playing while you're injured when you shouldn't be out there. I would seriously consider sitting Lamar Jackson for the rest of the season.
Jeez, you still got a chance to make the playoffs, Mo.
Yes, you have a chance to make the playoffs. You also have a chance that your franchise quarterback could be hurt all through next year. So,
I think it's time to trade off Derrick Henry, man. That contract is not about to age well for them, given his performance this year.
He's at that rare age, right? As running backs go, I believe Derrick Henry's 31, 32, and at some point,
Mo, he just had like 1,900 yards last year, man.
Are we really going to have that conversation? Because Saquon had over 2,000 yards, and right now Saquon is nowhere near 1,000 yards, and he's 3 years younger than Derrick Henry. So
well, to be fair, our run blocking scheme is absolutely garbage this year. So
The Ravens don't look great either. They don't look great either.
Yeah, but my thing is Derrick Henry has had breakout games and he'll get into the second level and still get hawked down. He don't have the same top end speed to where he can break off or muscle anybody off to get to the end zone like he used to. He just looks like he's getting like he just aged right into a 30-something-year-old back overnight.
I guess, but if I didn't know the two backs' age and I saw them playing, I swear Saquon's 6 years older.
Saying even if this is considered a down year for Derrick Henry, he's still like chilling over 1,000 yards. He's at 1,025
right,
for the year.
Right, he's gonna crack 1,000. Saquon, if he cracks 1,000, it'll be in week 17.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so because our run blocking has been absolutely terrible this year. I don't know what's to deal with that. But Mo, let's talk about it, man. Big talks in the NBA. Bucks looking to move Giannis. Or Giannis looking to move away from the Bucks. So where do you see him landing, man? And where do the Bucks go from here after this trade?
So Brett and I have talked about this a lot off and on. And he's more in the know being a resident Bucks fan than I am. But I think we're in agreement. We believe that he won't get moved until the offseason if he's going to get moved at all. And maybe that gets proven wrong because somebody makes them an offer they can't refuse. But there's only two teams that have the trade assets that the Bucks would be seeking out. And
let's go Lakers.
No, they don't have anything. That's not realistic. Unless they want LeBron, that's fine, and I'm fine with that. But no, look, obviously the Spurs have the trade assets and they have the bodies, and a team that's even a scarier thought, Oklahoma City has the trade assets and the picks. But because remember, this is a twofold thing. Giannis, if he wants to be out, you know, and I know, Carmike, he's going to want to go to a contender because he wants to try to win a title, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a hard move. Like, well, you better send me to the Spurs or to the Lakers. Or I'm not the Lakers, but the Thunder because they have the trade assets.
I don't think they're gonna send them to the Thunder because the Thunder, they're a well netted team, man. They 23-1, they rolling. So I don't know why you would mess that chemistry up.
I don't think the Thunder need him, but you have to put it out there because they're one of the few teams that have the assets that can get him. The Thunder, your defending champions, are going to have 2 lottery picks in next year's draft. That's scary stuff. But look, I've envisioned him. Would he and Wemby work? Absolutely. Giannis would give Wemby the toughness that he didn't have. And I think that playing alongside Giannis, how could that not rub off of Wemby? So I don't doubt that they could play well together. I just don't know that Milwaukee is hell-bent on moving Giannis. You don't get transcendent superstars. They don't come around often. I don't think the Bucks really want to move him. The only question is, does he really want to be moved? I haven't heard him say it. I've heard Shams Charania say it all the time, but I haven't heard Giannis say, I'm ready to be traded by the Milwaukee Bucks. And until he says that, I think he's going to remain with the Milwaukee Bucks.
I don't think Giannis ever going to say it. I think that's why he's going through his agent to do his job. You know what I mean? Brett, what you think, man? Damian says Giannis to the Pistons, Giannis to the Nets, Giannis to the Pacers, Giannis to the Lakers in 5.
What do the Pacers have what do the Pacers have to offer the Bucks?
Siakam.
Yeah, it's
so no trade. Like you have to have something that the Bucks want. I'm being real. Like if you're the Pistons, for instance, so you're giving me back Jalen Duren and a couple of other pieces and picks, right? I'm just saying that it would have to be something like that to happen. So you have to give back something of value. If I'm the Pistons, though, Jalen Duren for Giannis, yeah, I do that with the quickness. But if I'm the Bucks, you must be giving back Jalen Duren and like 4 number 1 picks.
Woo, 4?
I'm being real.
Giannis like 30, man.
In his prime.
He is
He's
in his
he's in a
prime.
prime.
He is in his prime, but he's
Right.
30. He about to start going on the back end of his prime.
I might need to like pull an Eagles and just put a good vibes rabbit behind me. Who gets Giannis? Milwaukee. I don't think they deal him until the offseason. And not to mention, this is the injury complicates things, right? That puts his recovery right up to, pretty near the trade deadline, and we'll have to see where we're at then. But I don't think he gets moved till the offseason if he theoretically does get moved. Damian, the problem with the Nets is Giannis wants to go somewhere competitive, and that isn't Brooklyn, and that isn't I don't think Indiana's looking to trade for him because I don't think they have anything Milwaukee wants, even if they did want him. It to me, the I've seen people throw out the Nets because they're like, "Yo, Giannis wants to be in New York." That's right up there with that one rumor that he wants to go to the Bulls. Like, come on, he wants to compete, he wants to win. If he does get moved, I would look at San Antonio. People are counting out OKC right now, but if he theoretically does get moved in the offseason, just remember all it takes is one bad playoff exit to really change your mind, right?
That's a great point.
The Warriors weren't really thought of for Kevin Durant, and then they lost in the finals, and then things changed, right? So I don't think any theoretical trade happens until the offseason, and a lot of things can change since then. But if I had to pick a favorite, if Giannis does leave Milwaukee, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be the Spurs. I think that's the team that ends up with them. But at the same time, Bucks are gonna be quick to part with them. Superstars don't come around often, and when they do, they aren't choosing to come to Milwaukee. So they're not gonna let Giannis go unless he comes up to the team and goes, "Yeah, I'm out after this year. I'm opting out." So you got to trade me, or I'll play for you next season. Then you're gonna lose me.
Right now, Oklahoma City, come on, they're the defending champions. They are looking like world beaters right now. They are off to a monstrous start. But
they rolling.
Right. But the bottom line is the monster starts irrelevant if you end up not winning the title, right? Like they could go 80-2. But if they don't win the title, that's really all we're going to remember. And if they don't win the title, like to Brett's point, then you do start thinking, we got the assets. Let's go out and get Giannis, right? Like I wouldn't rule that out. That is exactly what happened to Golden State. They win 73 games and they get choked out the last 2 games of the series. They're up 3-1, and though they go out and get KD. So look, if Oklahoma City continues to dominate the league and they go back to back, then this is a non-conversation. But I don't think it's a done deal until we see how the season plays out, because nothing can change a franchise's mind more than have an amazing regular season and come up short in the playoffs.
Indeed. But let's talk about it, Mo. Is this the Kings' last true title window, man? The Lakers are 16-6, and the King has emerged in his last game. Finally, 29 points instead of 10 or 8, whatever he wanted to do, being a corner guy, like on 2K, just sit in the corner, wait for the 3 ball to come to you. But is this LeBron's last true title window?
I think this is a good Lakers team. I think the Lakers are good enough to make the playoffs. I think as presently constructed, I would categorize them as a dangerous team. I wouldn't categorize them as one of the front runners in the West. They're not a good defensive team. I think they're around 15th or 16th in the league defensively, and they're around 8th offensively. So I think it's a good team. It's a dangerous team. If you're saying, is this his best chance near the end of his career? Sure. It's his best chance.
Talk about this season alone.
Right. But realistically, are the Lakers going to win the title? No. No.
Luka carried the Mavericks to the Western Conference Finals, man.
Right. But again, that's a one-off. That wasn't like that was the start of Luka dominating. Luka's on the Lakers now. So look, it was a one-off. I think the Lakers are a dangerous team, but I think if we're talking about them going on a deep run, Carmike, I think some teams would have to do them some favors. Like somebody would have to take out Denver or take out Oklahoma City. Like those are two teams I don't think they can beat. And honestly, even though I'm never overwhelmed by their overall talent, I don't know that the Lakers can beat Minnesota in the series because Minnesota can clamp down defensively and the Lakers can't. So I think the Lakers, as presently constructed, are dangerous. I don't think they're title contenders, though.
Gardy, chime in.
So first off, Damian, understand there's a huge difference in Damian Lillard and Damian Lillard post Achilles. Like, we weren't going to have him all this year, and obviously we needed to convince Giannis to stay. I don't think Damian Lillard post Achilles surgery is going to be a superstar anymore. He'll be very good, but the superstar days are going to be over for him. As far as LeBron goes, yeah, this is going to be his best chance to make a deep run, but I agree with Mo in the sense that they're going to need help. I think, obviously they need somebody to take care of Denver. Probably need somebody to take care of OKC too. And then you start running into teams that would be an absolute brutal slog to get by. The Timberwolves seem to give them fits, although having Luka does wonders for them because he loves facing drop coverage, which the Timberwolves love. But at the same time, the Houston Rockets, if they find their groove late, that's also going to be a tough team to get by. I think that they could make a run, but at the same time, they better hope they get some help on the other side of the bracket, and OKC and Denver just absolutely obliterate each other.
I agree, because you're not going to get to play the Sixers every night. So, I'm just being real, Philly fans. The Sixers don't play the only team, like the Lakers are a bad defensive team, but you know a team that's worse defensively? The Sixers. They don't guard anybody. Like, you watched the game last night against the Lakers for whatever reason, and I'm not their coach, but for whatever reason, they're like, LeBron's wide open for three. Let's give it to him. No pressure, no nothing, and he's just bombing. Like, I'm like, you do realize you could press up on him. He can't blow by anybody no more. You could press up on him, and they never did. They literally just said, "No, he's good out there," and he just killed them.
More so because LeBron wasn't doing that in the last. How many games? 5 still games this dude been playing. He been scoring 10 and 10 and 8. They was hyping up. Oh man, LeBron has finally broke his 10-game points since 2003 or 4, something like that.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Everything this dude do is scripted. It's scripted. Come on, man. It's scripted. He sits out. Who they sit out against? And they got the brakes beat off him. But he sat out that game on purpose.
Sat out last game.
I forgot who they played. They got the brakes beat off them.
Yeah, they lost. But LeBron came out this game, man, 29 out the gate.
Right, but again, strategically, he said, "We playing the Sixers tonight. I'm playing."
Hey, you know what? He probably snuck off, did one of his Germany trips, and he got everything taken care of. He all good now. He's going back to 30.
He's in the Germany trips. Oh, what's that thing where they get their blood spun or something like that? I remember Kobe did that stuff. Yeah, maybe. Look, I would, as a Laker fan, I would love it if they went on a deep playoff run. But I look at the West is a bear, and I just don't think the Lakers, when you start playing against the better teams, I don't even know if they could beat the Spurs fully healthy in a series, and that's a young team. Yes,
I don't think the Spurs got experience to make it, man.
Right, but you know what they have that the Lakers lack? They got young legs. They can run. You know what the Lakers can't do? Absolutely cannot run. Can't run. There's no athleticism.
When Luka's walking them down at his speed, man.
Yeah, the only problem is there's the other end of the floor where Luka's man is going, I'm gonna get mine too. I'm getting mine too. I know he gonna you're gonna look up in the box score and go, Luka went for 38, 11, and 11. The dude he was guarding went for 30 plus 2 because he ain't guarding nobody. Awesome. That's another thing. Look at the Lakers team on the perimeter. Luka ain't guarding nobody. Austin Reeves ain't guarding nobody. DeAndre Ayton barely knows how to guard anybody.
Come on, Mo. You know this game, man.
LeBron ain't guarding nobody.
It's a game of Can you outscore us? That's what we gonna play. You
That,
got
by the way, yes, no, Carmike, I'm glad you said that. That right there is the Lakers' pathway to going on a deep playoff run. That they can make it more of an offensive game, but it has to be at their pace. It can't be at a fast pace. The Lakers want to walk it up and dissect you in a half court offense, which they can do. I agree with you. If it's about just scoring points, they can go on a deep playoff run. But if they get shut down and they can't stop anybody, they're gonna get knocked out in the first round.
man.
And
No
you,
Lakers in 5 first round.
well, and the thing too is, you brought up that point of where you're going to try to outscore anybody. How many teams in NBA history has that actually worked for in the playoffs? Every team, like even your worst defensive teams, like your, for example, 2023 champion Denver Nuggets, they still had like the 11th or 12th best defense. Like you're not going to go very far without a good defense in the playoffs, and it's all fun and games when it's in the regular season, but as soon as you hit the playoffs, hey, try to outscore us. That just never works well for anybody that tries that.
Uh, but Brett, let's talk about this real quick, man. Who is your top 3 Eastern Conference contenders right now?
Oh my goodness, I love it. So obviously, start out with some of the usual suspects. The Knicks are right in the hunt. Kind of figured they would be. I think there's, still in that conversation. I think Detroit's still dangerous. I think Detroit, they're pushing teams really hard last year. I think they'll be right in the hunt. And you know what? I think I'll go with the. I'll still stick with my prediction before the year. I'll stick with the Orlando Magic. I think they'll heat up. I think they'll heat up towards the end of the year. I'm not. I'm not out on them.
My problem with the Magic is that Benchero and Wagner they do not mesh well in my opinion, man. They both try to dominate the game instead of working together to dominate the game. So like Franz was like, look, I'm trying to be the man, and Benchero's like, I ain't having it. I'm trying to be the man, but when either or is not there, like Wagner when Benchero ain't there, Wagner been going off, man. But I don't know. Magic is iffy, man. Them two got to work together to make it happen.
You hit it on the head, Carmike. That's the problem. Those bookend forwards, they don't really play well together. The Magic had a horrible start to the season. Paolo gets hurt. They've been on a winning streak. They lost last night, but they've been on a run. It's because when he's not on the floor, they play faster. And when he's not on the floor, everybody touches the basketball. Paolo is their best player, but he's not their best playmaker. And when he gets the ball in his hands, he's too deliberate. He holds the ball, holds the ball, holds the ball, and then he decides to make a move. He slows down everything. The real question is, can they incorporate him into what they were doing before he came back and he buys into it? Because you'd hate to say that. I think this is the point you were making, Carmike. At some point, they're going to have to move one of those forwards.
Mm-hmm. If they don't start meshing well together, somebody got to go.
Right. They're going to have to move one of those forwards. And that's weird, right? Because Paolo is the more talented player. Nobody would argue that his ceiling is higher. But when you watch them play, you know which one of them attacks the basket more? It's Franz. Franz attacks the basket more. Franz is the more aggressive player. Paolo settles for jump shots a lot, which is weird when you factor in how big and powerful he is. Why is he settling for jump shots? So I think the Magic have a weird conundrum. Paolo's our best player, but are we better without him? I don't even know how you make that work. I'm not suggesting trade Paolo Banchero, but I do think you're going to have to move one of them. And I'm assuming if you're going to move one of them, you're going to move Franz.
I agree, because I don't think Franz is going to put butts in the seats in Orlando, but Benchero will, especially with that contract they paid that man.
It's one of those things too with Paulo and Franz too. What makes it tough with those two as well, trying to pick one or the other, is Paulo he seems to always like shoot a lower efficiency in the regular season. He settles for these tough jumpers, but it always seems to suit him well in the playoffs because when it comes playoff time, now all of a sudden when the game slows down against set defenses in the half court, it's normally Paulo's the one that elevates his game, come playoff time. So the Magic are a weird team, but you know what? Trust the process.
I like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our time. We appreciate everybody stopping through the Coffee and Sports in the Morning Show. I'm Carmike. Gardy is here with us, man. Do you have any closing remarks for our people?
Thank you guys for tuning in. You can check out Mo and I later tonight on the Meaty Boys podcast, and go Pack Go.
And as always, if you know better, you do better. Close us out, big dog.
Hey, thank you guys for joining us this morning. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network, we appreciate you guys.